on. Can't hear it?
Yeah, we want to make sure that you can be there.
Where is my mic? Oh, it is on, but it's not on my face. Thank you, Barry. Everything in its right place. There we are.
On Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Barry. Just in my pocket. Boker Tov, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome 185, entering the space to voice our longings, the longings of our hearts in prayer, in sacred company with one another, offering our love to the source, devoting ourselves this morning to psalm and song, study, and prayer. And if you were with us for Tot Shabbat, a wee bit of a Torah parade, our hearts, may they be lifted, may our thoughts be deepened, and our souls, like the eagle, soar. 186. From where does our help come? One need only lift their eyes to the mountain. 188. 194, however you sit in your skin, you are a masterwork of creation. Reading together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et ha'adam b'chokhmah, uvaravo nechavim nechavim, chalulim chalulim, galui v'yadua lifnei chisei chevodecha, she'im yipateach echad mehem, o yisetem echad mehem, אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. 196.
אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא, אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא, אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי, אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי. ברוך אתה אדוני אשר בידו נפש כל חי ורוח כל בשרי.
198, with gratitude for the miracles of each day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech vivina, lehavkin ben yom uben laila, for awakening. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim, for vision. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim, for the ability to stretch. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tokef kefufim, for rising to the new day. Amen. Page 100. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim, for firm earth to stand upon. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver, for the gift of motion. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim, for clothing the body. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten life koach, for renewed enthusiasm for life. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir she'na me'enai, utnumami avapai, for reawakening. Amen. Page 202.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim, for being the image of the divine. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat horin, for being a free person. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael, for being a Jew. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura, for purpose. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael b'tifara. Amen.
204.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Amen.
213. Hareini mizamein et pi lahodot uchalel ushebeach et bori. With this do we prepare ourselves to thank, praise, and glorify our Creator.
Baruch atah Adonai melech mehulal batishbachot.
224.
Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma dira hirute, v'yamlik malchute, v'chayichon uv'yomechon, uv'chayed kol bet Yisrael, bagala, Uvizman kariv ve'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam ulam me'almaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpar v'yitomam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shmei Tekudesha Barechu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'alma ve'imiru amen.
Inviting you to rise as you are able, as we offer our blessing to the one who blesses. 226. To 29, in the beginning, even then a new light was sown for the righteous, a promise that your light would become the catalyst first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have, to cast light into dark waters and to draw out justice and truth.
Or Chadash, Al Zion Ta'ir, 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 V'nizke hulanu mehira le'oro, V'nizke hulanu mehira המאורות.
230.
How deeply you have loved us, Adonai Hashchina, gracing us with surpassing compassion on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. V'ha'ereneinu b'toratecha v'davek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yachel livavinu le'achava u'yir'a et shemecha v'lo nivosh v'lo nigalim v'lo הגדול והנורא בתחנו, נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to your land. For you, O God, work wonders. You choose us. Truly you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you one, declaring you one in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael, be'ahava.
Rising as one to declare the oneness of the one. 232.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
234.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha uvchol nafshecha uvchol mehotecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha, uv'kumecha, ukshartam le'ota yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
237. If we fall, can we not also rise? If we break away, can we not return? The stork in the sky knows when to migrate. The dove and the swallow know the season of return. What human instinct knows the time to turn back? What cue sparks the conscience of the soul? We pray to sense this day anew, attuned to the call of sacred living. 236. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem
מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
239. The eternal truth is that you alone are the source and there is none else. Together, may the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore. You shall not hate your brother or your sister or your friend or anyone in your hearts. The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asks the source. We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy. Praise to Hashichinah, Most High. Blessed is the source and deserving of blessing. Who is like you? A question we ask on repeat each week on Shabbats, and for which there is and never can be an answer. 240. From wherever we are to wherever we need to be, we cross over and we sing.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehtar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Shira hadasha, shibchu geolim l'shimcha, al sfat hayam. Yachad kulam hodu v'yimlechu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. Tzor Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufteichen umecha, Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go'aleinu Adonai tziva'ot shemo, Kadosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
We open our hearts and our mouths as we enter prayer and conversation 242.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. La 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים,
וקונה
הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
46.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחיי אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, נאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
248.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גואלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גואלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
250.
שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך. שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. מקדשי מקדשי שביעית שבת, שבת, ישמחו במלכותך. במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ובשביעי רצית בו וקידשו שבת, עמדת ימין אותו קראת השבת, זכר למעשי וראשית שבת, זכר למעשי וראשית שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
Continuing silently together through page 260.
יהיו לרצון נמרי פי והגיון לבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. עושה שלום עממה, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, יעשה
amen, amen. Inviting you to rise as you are able for Seder Kriyat HaTorah Shabbat. Inviting my Torah supports to join me on parade as we open the Ark 362.
Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kimasecha malchutecha malchut kol amim u'memshatecha b'chodor v'ador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai imloch Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av ha'rachamim etiva v'rtzonecha et Zion. Tivni chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'chal avad batachnu. Melech Elam v'nisa Adon Olamim.
64.
Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Udvar Adonai Merushalayim.
366.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti uneromim Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedola v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzchak v'hahod. Kicho b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Kicho b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamelacha v'hamidnaseh le'onei rosh al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim. Al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai. I think we have to roll it. Yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai
Once the music stops,
The
pressure is on. Exactly. There we go.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. The anticipation. The anticipation.
Ready to be ordained now. Okay.
For those who want to know what we're looking for, we are in
Which we have found.
Shmini, and today we are going to be reading chapter 10, line 1, which can be found on page 709 in your blue Chumashim. And Lauren is going to be reading the first Aliyah, and I will give her the Aliyah as well. Nala'amod tova mi beit davbir v'lib ha'aliyah harishona. Okay, guys. Now go front it again. Oh, my God.
We just had it.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayihu b'nei Aaron Nadav ve'avihu Ishmach tato vayitnu bahen esh vayisimu aleha ketoret vayikrivu lifnei Adonai esh zara asher lo tziva Otam v'teitze esh milifnei Adonai v'tochal otam v'yamutu lifnei Adonai vayomer Moshe el Aaron hu asher diber Adonai lemor bikrovei hakadesh ve'al pnei kol ha'am echabed V'yadom
Aaron.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Well done.
Thank you. And for the second Aliyah, I'd like to call Sheldon, who is going to be reading right where Lauren left off on verse 4, page 710. Nala amod simcha mi beit Moshe v'tova ha'aliyah ha'shenit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai barach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. Amen. Amen. Vayikra Moshe et Mishahol v'et El Tzavon b'nei Uziel dod Aaron vayomer elav ki hirvu se'uatechem et pnei hakodesh el michutz lamachaneh Vaikrevu, Vayisa'im, Vayisa'um, Bechutatotam, El Michutz Lachamachane, Ka'asher Diber Moshe, Asher Diber Moshe, Vayomer Moshe El Aaron, Ve'el El Azar, Oli Itamar Banav, Roshchem Et Tifra, Begidechem Bechol Tifromu Velo Tamutu, Ve'al Kol Ha'eda Ha'yikzof, Yachechem Bechol Beit Yisrael, Yivchu Et Srefa Asher Saraf Adonai.
Shvach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. We take this opportunity with our attention here on Torah for Amisha Berach. When I pause, we will include the list from our community, and then we also leave space for you to offer your names. Misha Berach Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu yivarech et hacholim. Tad Albeli, Jamie Berg, Amelia Byers, Audrey Cohen, Connie Creedon Muller, Phyllis Fillmore, Ellie Idovitz, Lou Klein, Mary Jane Klein, Ellen Leifer, Ken Lyjak, Kellen Jack Lyons, David Mallon, Jane Meyerson, Susan Otsanas, Merle Perlmutter, Claude Schleuderer, Sloan Shortley, Kahana Skolnick, Lynn Spiro, Jennifer Sumber, Tully Tolman, Maneo, Ben Wilder, Kim Viltzy, Sue Worthman, continued healing for Lauren Paddy's.
Emma Moorcroft, Sean Castro, Karen Raphael, Susan Becker, Rick Zucker, Leslie Collins,
Jack Levy.
Anthony Schleuderer.
Tzvi Reuven Ben Golda.
Michael Sanchez, Don Neal.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimele Rachamim Aleichem Lach Limam Urabotam Uchachsikam V'yishlach Lahem Mehira Refuah Shlema Min Hashamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf Hashta Bagalav Vizman Kariv V'nomar Amen.
For the third and final Aliyah, I'd like to call our greeter today, Vicky. Thank you, Vicky. And I will continue reading right where Sheldon left off, starting on line 7. Nala Amod Chana mi Beit Shmuel v'Chava ha'aliyah ha'shlishit.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'man Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bacha banu mikal ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Petach Ohel Moed.
I think this is it. This is it.
Vayetzu pentamutu ki shemen mishrat Adonai aleichem vayasu kidvar Moshe v'yidaber Adonai el Aharon lemor vayayin vayashkar el teish אתה ובניך איתך בבואכם אל אוהל מועד ולא תמותו תחת עולם לדורותיכם.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
And now, as we lift the Torah, I'd like to call Brett and Corinne to come tie it up for us. Please rise as we lift the Torah. Nala Amod Hagba V'Gulila.
Zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael api Adonai beyad Moshe. Torah, 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 hold it, please. 1 second, Corinne. Perfect now. Torah, 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 thumbs up. Tiva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tiva. Beautiful. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe, ki mitzion tehitzei Torah, udvar Adonai Yerushalayim, ki mitzion tehitzei Torah, udvar Adonai Yerushalayim, ki mitzion tehitzei Torah, udvar Adonai Yerushalayim, ki mitzion tehitzei Torah, udvar Adonai Yerushalayim. Thank you so much to our readers. One more reading today, our Haftorah, 729, inviting our Sheldon to read for us. He will be reading 2 Samuel, starting at 6:1. That was 729 in the Plout.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza b'divreichem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'Torah u'b'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'b'nbiei ha'emet b'tzedek.
Amen.
Vayosef o David el kol bachur b'Yisrael shloshim alef vayakam vayelech David v'chol ha'am asher ito מבעלי יהודה להעלות משם את ארון האלוהים אשר נקרא שם אדוני צבאות יושב הכרובים עליו וירכיבו את ארון האלוהים אל עגלה חדשה וייסעו מבית אבינדב אשר בגבעה, ועוזה ואחיו בני אבינדב נוהגים את העגלה החדשה. וייסעו מבית אבינדב אשר בגבעה עם אהרון האלוהים, ואחיו הולך לפני הארון. ודוד וכל בית ישראל משחקים לפני אדוני בכל עצי ברושים ובכינורות ובנבלים ובתופים ובמנערים ובצלצלים. ויבואו עד גורן נחון, וישלח עוזה אל אהרון האלוהים, ויאחז בו, כי שם תוך הבוקר. ויחרף אדוני בעוזה, ויכהו שם האלוהים על השער, ויעמד שם עם אהרון האלוהים. וייחר דוד על אשר פרץ אדוני פרץ בעוזה, ויקרא למקום ההוא פרץ עוזה עד היום הזה. וירא דוד את אדוני ביום ההוא, ויאמר איך יבוא אלי אדון אדוני. ולא אבה דוד להסיר אליו את אהרון אדוני על עיר דוד, ויתהו דוד בית עובר אדום הגיתי. וישב אהרון אדוני בית עובר אדום הגיתי 3 חודשים. ויברך אדוני את עובר אדום ואת כל ביתו. ויוגד למלך דוד לאמור, ברך אדוני את בית עובד אדום ואת כל אשר לו בעבור אהרון האלוהים. וילך דוד ויעל את אהרון האלוהים מבית עובד אדום עיר דוד בשמחה. ויהי כי צעדו נשאי אלוהים אדוני 6 צעדים, ויזבח שור ומירי. ודוד מקרקר בכל עוז לפני אדוני. ודוד חגור אפוד בד. ודוד וכל בית ישראל מעלים את אהרון אדוני בתרועה בכל שופר. ברוך Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, tzur kol ha'olamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer v'yoseh, ha'mdaber u'mekayem, shekol dvarav emet v'tzedek. Al ha'tara v'al ha'avodah v'al ha'nevi'im v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod u'letifaret. Ala kol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mevarchim otach יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני
וברוך שמו.
מקדש השבת.
Amen. Yeshar koach. Thank you.
Reading from Parshat Shemini in the book of Vayikra, and wow, tricky portion. Shabbat pop quiz. Name a biblical commandment. Just one, holler it out. Something maybe you're not allowed to do. Kill. How do we know? How do we know we're not supposed to kill? Not murder. Okay, so not murder. Wait, so just like, can I murder you in the morning? Can I murder you in the morning? So I can't murder you at night? And I can't murder Marty? And I can't use a rock? And I can't, I don't know, smother you with a pillow? No murdering. Does it say that in our Torah? Does it say I can't kill in the morning and I can't kill at night and I can't kill with a rock and I can't get Marty and I can't kill Dave? It just says don't murder. Here we are in Shemini where it says you cannot eat certain bugs or fish or animals or body parts in quite a bit of detail. Right? It's not just don't eat bugs or don't eat sharks. It's don't eat bugs, but except some bugs. Grasshoppers are okay. Praying mantis, when they're done praying, those are okay. But any other creepy crawlies, any other things that are, running about on their bellies and such, forbidden for you. Also, rabbits, no problem. Chickens, fine. Eagles, you can't eat them. Sharks, can't eat them. Shellfish, trafe. We are told in explicit, excruciating detail how and what we can eat, but I'm not told anything more than don't murder, and I guess I'm expected to figure the rest out.
But we can kill animals, apparently.
We can kill animals, apparently.
Some people think not, like maybe our rabbi, because she's vegan. I mean, God doesn't.
We were all vegan, vegetarian before Noah. We weren't permitted, and then we were. And now, we're not. Or some of us are not, and some of us are. I guess my question is, why is the Torah laying out for us sort of like a spiritual menu when sort of the Torah top 10 just gives us a list? Don't lie, don't kill, don't covet. And, we're expected to just know how that applies to our lives. Not so here. It's really, really clear what winged things you can eat and what water things you can eat and what things with 4 legs and split hooves and that chew their cud. Make no mistake, the laws of Leviticus are clear. We are not expected to work at all. It's all written down. And it's not just the laws of kashrut, the laws of keeping kosher, but also of shechita, of kosher slaughter. Which animals need to be slaughtered, which don't, which can be eaten, and which can't. Why? What do you think?
Keep us safe.
To keep us safe. What do you mean? Like spiritually safe, like physically safe?
I feel like for me, the way I understand some of the ununderstandable laws are that
The imponderables, you mean?
The imponderables, that's a
talked about
good
the
word.
imponderables last night.
Imponderables.
Yeah.
That they were to protect us from a disease or protect us from something of that time that maybe we don't necessarily have now, or maybe we do.
Okay. All right, so there's one answer. Maybe it's safer, to shecht a cow or shecht a chicken than it is just to cut it into pieces and serve it hot. Yeah, Marty.
Well, because we need boundaries on our lives. We
Okay.
need limits. We have to understand that, and that conserves it's exaggerated, perhaps, but the more exaggerated, the more clear it will be everything that lies beyond that is within those boundaries.
Okay.
So
So we need clear, structured guidelines, boundaries. What do you mean by exaggerated? What you said exaggerated. You meant like the level of detail is meant just to be a safeguard so that we're sure to not step out of bounds?
right.
Yeah. Dave?
To keep us as a separate people.
To keep us as a separate people, it's a fair point. So Jews are required to keep kosher. Non-Jews, not so. And so I guess that begs the question in response to Alex, well, shouldn't God care if it's not safe for people, humans, to consume sharks or shellfish or, any other bugs, then nobody should. No, Jews, non-Jews, it shouldn't matter. Why just Jews? To keep us separate? Other thoughts? Dave, were you trying to jump in?
I was going to say almost the same thing as Dave, that distinguish us from the practices of other cultures at the time. Probably Egyptians more than the others, because that's where our culture came, or assimilation had come from.
Okay. So to differentiate us as a people, to distinguish us from the Canaanites and our the neighbors, so that we were set apart as a people. Yeah, Vicki.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I've also heard that it's to always keep people conscious of God and spirituality when they eat, as a Jew.
Beautiful. So, you get up, you have a coffee, you say a bracha. You get a snack, maybe a little light breakfast, you say a bracha, maybe more than one. You have a little lunch, an afternoon snack, maybe another cup of coffee. If you're like me, another cup of coffee. And each time you put something in your mouth, you're mindful of your source and the way that the source sustains us, and we offer our gratitude.
Isn't that every religion? Every person of every religion offers gratitude to God.
At every moment,
At every moment.
with everything that goes in your mouth. I guess I would think that God was more concerned with what came out of my mouth rather than what I put in it. Right? Why is God so concerned about what I have for lunch? The Torah doesn't tell us. It doesn't say it's to keep us separate or to keep us safe or, to help us be mindful of God. It's just because God says so. And of course, the rabbis are like, there ought to be a reason. Right? And so they try to fill in this gap. They try to make sense of something that doesn't exactly make sense. And maybe chicken tastes better than, I don't know, cockroaches, but I actually don't know that. I've never, to my knowledge, eaten a cockroach, which apparently are quite good for you, high in protein, very sustainable, renewable source of food, even though they're a little disgusting. So, doesn't say, but we're desperate to know. We want to know why. If I'm going to do this, which it's stringent, we've all just come through Passover, which is the most stringent level of observance is when it comes to kashrut. It's not only you need two sets of dishes, maybe you need another set of dishes, and there are things specifically you can't eat. You got to sell your chametz, and then you got to buy it back. It's a whole situation. You can only have crackers for a week plus 1 day. Why? I'm asking you because I don't have the answer. The Torah doesn't have the answer. The rabbis don't have the answer. There's been answers that have been provided. It's the same sort of category of commandments, of laws that come to us without explanation. It makes sense to us not kill people and to study and to not lie or covet or engage in illicit relationships. This is one of the ones that don't necessarily make sense to us. So we talked a bit about this last night, but we're desperate to know. Yeah, Dave.
There's one that even goes further than that.
Louder, David, I can't hear you.
One that goes further than that?
when Jacob got hit in the thigh, it says, from now on, we don't eat the sinners.
Oh yeah, remember we talked about that, that little
Sciatic
that's
nerve.
the sciatic nerve. We don't eat that because at one point, Jacob was maybe like a little nudged by an angel, and now for all time, the Torah tells us specifically, you cannot eat this one part.
Even though it's slaughtered kosher, you got to give.
You got to take that part out.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's enough to say, well, God says so, and so we don't do it. Yeah, Marty.
Just a little more, it gives us a sense of orderliness,
Yeah.
of organization, and it has consequences for our whole lives. I mean, if we live by the rules of kashrut, we have a template for organizing all our experiences. It's a marvelous idea. It's kind of Linnaeus, but
Okay. So just like a sort of a broad strokes schema for keeping us like spiritually organized. We remember to be mindful. We remember to take care of ourselves spiritually and physically.
There are so many details in rules, like how to keep kosher, this can't touch that, which exact part of the food you could eat, which food. I think that I can't live my life that way because it seems so obsessive compulsive, but I think that keeps, I think it keeps people very, very focused on the laws of Judaism. I can't do it, but I'm not saying it's wrong. I can't do it.
Heathen.
No judgments here. Just I hear you, and I guess if we think about like the intention, if this is like meant to keep us mindful of the divine, then like yeah, all right. Like I will make sure that my shirt isn't made with shatnez, and I will make sure that my Shabbos chicken was shechted by a respected shochet, and I will make sure that the milky and the meaty don't mix, and maybe I'll have separate plates, and I'll have them toiveled if they come into contact. Like, I will do that because I love God. But, like, why this? Why not, like...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, please, jump in.
I once asked, this might go for both, I asked the Orthodox person, why do we have kosher wines and grapes? And he says, it keeps the economy with our people. It's the same thing. It keeps the economy into the Jewish.
So it's like industry, Jewish industry. So we produce wine and we produce glatt, kosher, whatever. Kishkas, is that a thing? No, that's not the thing you eat. That's something else. What?
Kishka is a thing.
That's it, right? That's the thing you eat, right? I'm like, it's not the kishkas, it's something else. Okay, so basically the same thing, right?
Kosher is the store brand. Is that what he's kind of saying?
That it's like the internal Jewish enterprise, so that we have like an industry of the people, right? Is that your point?
The economy within the Jewish people.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So this is God seeing to our financial well-being and ensuring that we support one another's small businesses. I don't know. I guess when I think about like how to be in the world and maybe what God wants for me in the world, it's clearly that I not have a cheeseburger for lunch, but what about the kindness to others and the care for the land and the study of Torah and justice? We hear in the Torah 36 times that we are to welcome the stranger, welcome the ger, welcome the convert. 36 times. This is a biblical commandment. We are told one time not to kill people. And we're spent how much time here in our Torah portion? One chapter after another. Of course, we have kashrut, and then we have skin diseases. In between, we have pregnancy. There's like all kinds of things all smushed together. But we're not given the same kind of detail when it comes to, to the major top 10 Torah, Torah laws. But it's like this, we're given so much instruction that we can't possibly go sideways unless we will it. Or we're not paying attention. Or maybe they're connected. Maybe they're related. What do you think? Is there maybe more to kashrut than whether or not, you eat a fish with fins and scales or an animal that chews its cud? What could it be? What's sort of underneath? Alex, yeah. Oh, Evie, yeah.
Well, you have to pay so much attention to all these rules, become mindful, and then you can transfer the mindfulness to the important stuff.
To the important stuff. So that's actually really important. So, upcoming in our Torah, stay tuned. We'll learn about the laws of Shemitah and, of allowing the land to lay fallow, and also of freeing the slaves. There's this idea that, and of tzedakah, the requirements to give tzedakah, we're maybe trained by the laws of Leviticus and of kashrut to prepare ourselves for the ways that we have to get. So it builds discipline. So when it comes to giving tzedakah, when it comes to letting the land lay fallow, when it comes to freeing the slaves, we're ready. We're already trained to follow Torah law, because these other more important things are coming. Not more important, it's more important. But it's just part of a spiritual training that we undergo. Yeah.
Maybe it also has something to do with the fact that we eat all day long.
All day long.
So it's a decision that you make all day long, whereas some of these other things maybe happen in a lifetime once. So it makes you mindful all the time.
All the time, all the time, all the time. If you're I'm like a goat, so just graze, all day long, just a little snack here and there. Yeah, Alex.
Kind of reminds me of our shuttle program that's coming up about choosing Judaism. It's a way of our choosing Judaism, not just when we wake up and we say our prayers, but when
Or just on Shabbat, yeah.
Yeah, on every moment. And I was agreeing with Evie. My point was the same of if we can do all these minuscule things and, like you said, go through that training, it kind of makes space for maybe the more difficult, challenging, or more current challenges.
Beautiful. Yeah, Sheldon.
It's also interesting that while these are very detailed and very important and clearly have impetus to them and they're commanded, it doesn't say that if you do any of these things or break any of these commandments or eat any of these forbidden foods, you'll be stricken down and die.
Right.
It just says that you'll have to break the oven or spill out the cistern of water, so it stops short of the sort of dire consequence, but it's still important, which I think is pretty interesting.
That's a tremendous point. So Sheldon is saying that you're not going to this is not a situation like Nadav and Avihu, who offer a strange fire and no more Nadav and Avihu. Right? This is not punishable by death. This is punishable by what? Impurity. Yeah, Marty.
My sister used to tell me a story about her very Orthodox father-in-law, who was a big smoker, but came Friday night, he didn't smoke. And,
Can't light, yeah.
and she asked him in Yiddish, as he only spoke Yiddish, why do you do this? And he said, wir tun das. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
This is what we do, which is, of course,
Tradition. Sorry. Couldn't really thank you. Yeah, this is what we do. Okay, so we do it because that's what's done. Is that what you're saying? Right?
that's right.
Yeah. Dave?
What we have in the Torah is the biblical law, but the rabbinical law already says, how do we slaughter this animal? It doesn't say, all right, you can eat this animal, cut it up if you know how to butcher and do it. But it doesn't say that we have to do it ritually.
It doesn't say in the Torah that we have to do it ritually.
That's right.
Of Shita. I mean, we're given some instructions for how the animal ought to be parsed out and placed on the altar, and it's perhaps not as elaborate as the rabbinic text and in the Chulin, which is extremely elaborate and also can be purchased in full color graphic detail images, which to my surprise I found in the HUC library and was, for me, a deciding factor for why I would not train as a kosher butcher. But it's there, right? Really graphic. And with great detail, with great attention to detail. This is not, a half-hearted attempt to stick to biblical law, there are other factors. Are you trying to jump in? That's the corner of my eyes.
Yeah. We are taking a life, and life is holy, and to make it specific, I feel like bringing our attention to that holiness and that we are taking a life. There's a connection there, I feel.
We're taking a life, right? Although, not always, right? So
In terms of the slaughter and
certainly of the slaughter, but, and maybe, you're taking a life when you pick carrots or apples
You
or
have to-
something, or when you extract, eggs or
and
cheese.
Every food that we eat has to give of itself so that we can be nourished.
Has to give of itself.
Fruit has to be plucked from the tree, vegetables from the ground. They have to give of themselves.
So it has a life force.
Yes.
So this is getting very mystical, right? So all of the food that we eat, whether it's meat or dairy or veg or some other thing, except for the candies that are mostly just petroleum, has a life force, right?
The Native Americans, because I read this stuff too, before they eat, they thank the food.
They thank the food. So Native American traditions of thanking the food. So we offer our thanks, like we say a bracha. There are various categories of blessings that we say, we say for bread, and we say for wine, and we say for the fruit of the earth, and the fruit of the vine, and the fruit of the tree. And we have all of these blessings that we say. And there's like a category of it's kind of catch-all, where like the coffee and the candies are all together. But there's a life force. And, the mystics will say you put something in your mouth, it becomes part of you, and you elevate its life force. And if it's not kosher, then it's kind of brings you down. So you eat something kosher, it brings you up. It brings that life force up, your life force up. Something not kosher brings it down. What do you think? Evie, you're trying to jump in.
Judaism is a very complicated religion and culture. I tried my best to do tzedakah and kind of a stranger and all that, but I don't keep kasher. So some other Jews don't consider me a Jew. It's like,
Well, so then it comes to a question of values, right? Values are certainly built into what do we think are the values of kashrut? Is it obedience? Maybe. What else? What other values that we glean from kashrut, from keeping kosher?
dedication.
Commitment, dedication. Compassion for the animal, right? Shechita is meant to be like the most quick and painless. What else?
what's the word when something isn't kosher? What's the
Treif.
Yeah, like I worked in a yeshiva for a short time with elementary school kids, and this little kid in kindergarten, I showed him a picture of a pig for some reason, I don't know, as a vocabulary word or something, and he was like, I don't know if he used the word treif, but he was disgusted. He was like, that's treif!
Treif.
And you know, I think that it was doing the opposite. It was teaching him that that animal was not holy, was not of God. So it could backfire.
So it's interesting you should bring up pigs. We in Tot Shabbat this morning read a book about Baxter, the pig, who wanted to be kosher. And, you know, this lovely story of this pig in Gingham, and he's skipping off to the bus stop, and he meets a Jew, and, you know, he's excited about Shabbat and the candles dancing and the challah, and the pig's like, I want to be kosher. And he goes about trying to make himself kosher, not understanding that kosher is sort of a category of things that we eat. Of course, it's other things, but he's just a little pig. You know, and so he's like, how do I make myself kosher? He eats some pickles. He's like, a lot of pickles. Kosher pickles doesn't make him kosher. He has a lot of challah. He's like, okay, it's kosher challah. I'm going to be kosher. And then he meets, of course, a very understanding rabbi who is like, why would you want to be eaten? Of course, he's horrified. He doesn't know that, you know, he's not kosher, and what that means is that he can't be eaten. But what he does learn is that he can show up to Shabbat because everyone is welcome, right? Everyone is welcome at Shabbat, and so we got to see the candles dance and to eat the challah and to sing the songs. And, like, it's a beautiful story. But to your point, like, yeah, this is not cooties, right? We're not going to catch something from, shellfish or whatever it is you're eating that's, explicitly forbidden that I don't need to know about. This isn't about, I hear Barry laughing in the back. This isn't about, life and death, to Sheldon's point. This isn't, strange fire on the altar. This is purity and impurity. It renders you tameh. Are you at your spiritually highest level? Maybe not. Because you had, I don't know, chicken parm for dinner. You can recover. You go to the mikveh, say some brachot, maybe you offer something on the altar. There's a solution for your impurity. Yes?
And this is highlighting for me like how personal it is. It's not for us to judge one another. That even though I hear that feeling. So, excuse me while I interrupt myself. So just how personal it is and how the choice is ours, choosing our Judaism, choosing to make that choice of change or redirection, like a choice point, and that it's up to us and the source. It's not for others to know, which makes it kind of cool and special.
Beautiful.
Can you explain that?
So
I don't understand.
how we eat, what we eat it's a personal decision, and it's not for me to know and judge. It's between you and God.
And as we try to move towards the divine, how we do that is for ourselves and the divine. It's not for Vicky to judge me or for me to judge someone else. It's so, I will admit there are ways that I don't keep kosher, and in my life I do strive to include that in ways that I can, knowing that I can't do it all. Like, that's what the thing about Judaism. I feel like we can't do everything.
We actually literally can't, because the temple no longer stands. Marty.
So, we have this idea, of course, that Torah keeps Israel, right? So what
And
we're
Shabbat.
talking about is our peoplehood, our people, our status as people. This is all about our status as people. I've been around a while, and I've noticed as I sit down for a meal, I'm conscious of what I'm doing. I'm conscious of even what I'm violating. I'm aware of it. It's a conscious decision. I
Yeah.
don't make a joke out of it. It isn't something.
It's like, you know what you're doing when you're doing it, whether you're doing what you're meant to do
It's
or not.
consequential. It means something.
It means something. That's the Vicky's point, right? You're mindful. Don't just stuff your face, right? Like, you're gonna stuff your face, do it mindfully, whether you're eating, I don't know, pork rinds or, I don't know, something kosher and probably more delicious, challah.
Last week, I loved Pesach because it kept me in line with what I wanted to be in line with.
Ah,
I needed it, and I loved it.
beautiful. Did I see your hand? Yeah.
I was just going to say that the expression or the concept of kosher extends beyond food. So
Say more. It's like you read my mind.
behavior can be not kosher. You say to somebody, that's not kosher, the way you're treating this person or that person, that there are overarching rules, all of these rules and laws that we've been given a framework for. And when you step outside, whether it's what you're putting in your mouth or the way you're treating another person or the way you're making decisions can be not kosher.
Beautiful. So kosher isn't just about food. This level of mindfulness and of paying attention to, what's going in your mouth is the same level of attention that's required to what's coming out of your mouth and how you're treating people. And I would say also how we're treating the land, how the animals are treated, how the truck that has to carry the oranges from California to New York in February leaves a carbon footprint, and that's bad for us all. How the farm workers are treated, how the supermarket workers are treated, how food is packaged. There's so many ways to think about what's kosher that draws from the sort of list of instructions for how to keep it, that extends to how we interact with one another, how we talk to one another, how we treat the planet, and how our choices impacts the world around us. Does that feel like a fair assessment? Values. It's not just about what's on the menu. It's like how we behave in the world as the best people we can be, mindful of not just these laws, but all the laws. It's like they're all kind of woven together in here in our parsha today. And there are some who will say, like, this whole conversation, everything we've just said, thought about, the answers we've offered, no matter, because it's what God says, right? And we won't understand why. We can come up with reasons to justify it. It's good for our health. It's best to be mindful. It's better for the planet. But it doesn't say. This is this category of commandments where it's just, you just do it anyway, even though it doesn't make sense to you. It's like shotness. And I mean, I guess it makes sense to not sacrifice your child to Malach. But like, there are a number of commandments where it's just like, may not make sense to us, no matter how we try to fill in the gap. And we do it because we do it, because we do it, and it's what's done. Any final thoughts, questions, recipes to share?
What is glot kosher?
What is glot kosher?
Yeah.
Glot means smooth. I know.
So I live on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, where there stands one remaining kosher bakery. It's like the shtetl, but it's like one kosher bakery and one right next door, owned, I think, by the same people, a kosher butcher. It's glot kosher. And the understanding is it's a level of kashrut that's observed. And
They do something to the organs on the inside. They mean smooth. They smooth out something on the inside.
that's a question I'm going to need to take with me. My understanding was that it's a level of supervision and attention to biblical detail, extra.
I know that.
Kosher squared, kosher times 2, kosher max. I don't know. I'm not sure about this smoothing, but I will look into it.
Because that's what glot
I think that it means the Orthodox Union was there, and
That's the Orthodox industry right there,
they got
glot
their
kosher.
book.
Any other thoughts, questions? I purposely didn't return us to our conversation about Nadav and Avihu because it's in that same category of things that we want to make sense of and simply can't. And still we hold them in mind as we close our study and say, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yasha koach.
Thank you.
Moving to return Torah to the Ark, 374.
Oh.
Yehallelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. Hodo ha'eretz v'shamayim, vayarem kerem yamo, tehila lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kirovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. Eitzaim hi lemachazikim ha v'tomchecha meushar deraheha darhei noam v'chol mitzvotecha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu, Kadesh Yameinu, We have come to a pause for announcements this morning. The Zimit Jewish Learning Adventure continues Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Also on Sunday at 7 p.m., Sunday, April 16th, we are holding our Yom HaShoah service, a journey of remembrance. Guest speaker, Professor Chris McDaniel-Michio, will lead us in a discussion on why this historical moment is a living marker for us all here in America and around the globe. Our conversation will be led by Professor Daniel Michio, and she will present her own expertise as well as share the voices and perspectives of celebrated authors. The next music jam will be taking place next week. Check in the office for the time and date. And next week, Tuesday morning meditation and Torah study at 8:45 a.m. Wednesday, Trope meets at 2 p.m. That's a different time. Conversational Hebrew will begin at 4 p.m. Wednesday. Sisterhood is holding a virtual wine tasting on Wednesday, April 19th, that's this Wednesday, at 6:30 p.m. Check your inbox and the website for details, including the wine list, discount shopping local, as well as preparing for the Zoom tasting. Shavuot, which I mentioned a little bit in our learning this morning, our virtual Zoom, Tikkun Leil Shavuot, will be taking place the evening, May 25th at 10:30 to midnight to study with Rabbi. The next morning, we have our Shavuot sunrise service, which is so beautiful, at Kingston Point Beach off Delaware Avenue in Kingston, 5 a.m. We hope to see you there. Anything you might have missed, check our website. Thank you.
Or anything you'd like to share, any good news?
Oh, yeah. We found our spot this morning.
We did. That is the best
yeah.
news. The best news. It's springtime. It's a sunny day. That's good news.
Amen. We're here doing service together. I'm appreciating that.
Also good news. Rising as you are able, 587.
Aleinu l'shabeach lahadon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 591 ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
$594. It's a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be an ode to lose. A thing for fools, this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me. Your laugh once lifted me. Your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. If you are in a period of mourning or of remembering, we mourn and remember with you. You are in a period of Shloshim, Shana, Shiva, a week of mourning, a month of mourning, a year of mourning, inviting you to rise and share the names, the one you are mourning or remembering this morning. Holding in remembrance recent passing of Suzanne Eichhorn-Priven, Richard Buddy Krakowski, David Blancher, and other members of this community who have passed this past year. Also observing the yahrzeits of Mo Aronson, Ellen Leifer's father, Fanny Cohen, Ellen Futterman, Adam Futterman's mother, Gloria Gus, remembered by Allison Gus, Max Heischhuber, Kitty Satinsky's father, Esther Leifer, Howard Leifer's mother, Merritt Markle, Linda Sumber's father, Henry Markson, Ana Maria Rodriguez, remembered by Alberto Flores, Flores' mother, Robert Scherer, Jesse Scherer's father, Jesse Schlesinger, Martin Seidlin, Sidney Steinberg, Lori Blancher's grandfather, and Judith Blancher's father, Hattie Weingarten, Jeff Lukash's grandmother, Eleanor Orbalowski, Jay Orbalowski's mother. Adding to this list of names, the martyrs of our people whose names are not known and for whom Kaddish has not been said, and the names of those of every race and nation whose lives we lift up, and of Nadav and Avihu, rising together as we are able. 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yithalal, shmei kudasha brichu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushvachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imomav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru. Amen. May their memories be for a blessing. Zikrona livracha.
Amen.
You may be seated.
I thought we could use a little extra prayer for peace, 490, as we close our service this morning. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha,
Shabbat Shalom, Boker Tov.
Shabbat Shalom.
Ending with some gratitude for our readers and our greeter and Barry and Ellen, our Gabbai, my tefillah partner, our drummer, and Corinne, who's made her way out the door, and for all of you for joining us. Let's eat some bread.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Oh,
There's
it
an
snuck
Ellen
in there. I'm
Hollis.
so happy. I thought there wasn't, and I was sad there's no gloves. Chamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks for Ellen's challah.
Yeah.
Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
What a beautiful challah.
I have a glove.
Shabbat Shalom. Come eat. Oh, Alex's
helpful?
gloves, yeah.
Can
Beautiful.
you take this big challah away?
I can take the big challah.
And let me put these here. What an